Elden Ring is in such a state right now. We are all twiddling our thumbs, patiently waiting for the DLC. And if you're anything like me, you've been casually burning hours in the Coliseum with the rest of the Cope Comrades, practicing setups new and old in the hopes of being sharp when Miyazaki finally descends from the heavens to gift us what we've all been so eagerly waiting for. I've been using that time to tune up my skills with a couple of new builds. This Faith build is meant to maximize incantation and sacred affinity damage. Having weapons with low strength and dex requirements allows you to push your damage to crazy levels. As a starting class prophet, I managed to reach a mouth-watering 69 Faith on the build, giving me access to excellent scaling from the Erdtree seal. I can wield all my weapons with an easy 12 dex and 14 strength. On top of that, we still have an impressive inventory full of Sacred Blade weapons to push even more holy damage through their defenses. Halberd is a unique weapon in Elden Ring, as its properties combine to make many different weapons and spells strong in the offhand. The range and spacing, speed of the running R1, counter hit damage, hit stun levels, and relatively low recovery add up to one of the most reliable weapons in the game. Adding your chosen offhand mix-up tool to a Halberd moveset is a time-honored Souls PvP tradition. I had to try the offhand clean route, of course. Everyone loves fighting against this thing. I'm just trying to bring more happiness and joy to the other players in the community. With Sacred Blade, the Sacred Clean Rot has 674 AR on the build. That's fucking gross. A filthy tool of tarnished traumatization if I've ever seen one. As a reminder, as of patch 1.10, offhand thrusting swords are bugged and deal 108 poise damage on every hit. This means you can break poise with every hit in the L1 chain and stunlock anyone but the beefiest of bull goats. With the insane damage from our Sacred Infusion, I tried this a couple times, made myself sick, and decided to move on to slightly less cheese-oriented setups. The infamous Halberd Dagger. Recently taking down the European Major Tournament in the hands of Darksoap, the Haldag is the slightly more fair cousin to the oppressive Halstoc. It uses the dagger to combo out of the running or neutral R1s, and you can combine dagger hits to stack damage, poise damage, and force your opponent into rolling. The Haldag setup is excellent for conditioning. If you make them respect the dagger too much, you can roll catch with the Halberd when they roll the dagger. If they try and trade into the dagger hit, they are taking big damage and maybe even a counter hit from your Halberd. Off-Dagger is a truly terrifying setup, and once again, I'm going with Sacred Blade for my offhand Ash of War. Just buff the Earthsteel Dagger when the fight starts, and get a mind-boggling 630 AR offhand dagger that has 11 frame startup time and almost 0 recovery. The dagger will stun most people in 3 hits, but lower poise opponents will be stunned in 2, enabling you to combo Halberd hits, dagger hits, and the hottest combo Ash in the game, Flaming Strike of course. With the ability to roll catch with all 3 of your offensive options, your spacing and aggression can control the tempo of a fight and make your opponent truly frustrated with your mix-up timings. The Halstoc is ban-worthy, the Haldag is tournament-winning, and the Halflame is merely good? While Catchflame has the guaranteed poise break of the thrusting sword, it's not nearly as fast. It has similar DPS to the dagger, but can roll catch better because of the running attack and hitbox. But the real advantage to running Catchflame in the offhand is that it gives you some variety with other incantations. I don't use the other incants much in this footage, and many times you don't need to in 1v1, but having a lightning spear or boulder for range, pocket sand for finishing, and maybe a hyper armor option for trading can all be valuable incantation strategies that you gain from having a seal in the offhand. Patch 1.10 shifted Catchflame back to poise breaking on every hit. A word to the wise though, while the Halberd off Catchflame setup excels at gaining priority against Mash, hyper armor is a decent counter to each one of these offhand setups. I don't two-hand the Halberd a lot here because I wanted to practice using offhand weapon and spell timings, but feel free to implement handy tech and get your own hyper armor from the Halberd against other great weapons. I have Radagon's icon for virtual dexterity equipped in many of these fights. Although most offhand Catchflame players never go for the neutral cast, relying on the faster running, rolling, and jumping casts, the increased cast speed of the first neutral helps you combo from your Halberd hits and largely improves any other spells you're using. In general, you do want to focus on the faster running, rolling, and jumping Catchflame. It comes out very quickly and is unaffected by your dexterity numbers. This makes Catchflame a reliable roll catching tool when using the running attack, and you can get quick hits in after a roll to surprise or punish an opponent's attack. If your opponent reads the running R1 and buffers their roll incorrectly, you can catch them with the flame and start a combo to punish their mash or rolls. Halberd with offhand setups has some difficult matchups. It doesn't show as much frequency of success as power stance great spears, power stance straight swords, or even fists in the recent metagame. In spite of that, because of the mix-up and timing potentials, the setup has an incredibly high skill ceiling. Mastering Halberd with offhand setups gives you a fighting chance against anything in the game because of the range and number of options out of neutral. Add in highly damaging incantations, and a well-loved yet underrated combination of offense has a chance to break through even at the highest levels of gameplay. You know it's that hot fire!